Welcome to the Summer Solstice 2026 reading. I thank you for being here. Today I'm using the Capo Tarot deck. And by this, I'm going to be using a guidance system that was taught to me. And we'll be anchoring into both the major arcana cards and the minor arcana cards, but using the major arcana cards, which I'm piling here, to guide us into a message for our collective for 2026 summer solstice. What energy do we have to root in and ground in? And if you're wondering, the Capo Tarot deck is created by a dear friend of mine, J.L. Umipig from New York. And cards in this deck was channeled Filipino heritage, rooted in indigenous culture of the Philippines and values of the Filipino people. And I have been sitting with these cards for some time, and so I have a deep connection to them, not only because my friend made them and drew them by hand, but because they are rooted in my own culture and Filipino culture, and our healing practices are universal. And so I hope that you enjoy it. And if you do want them, I can most certainly link and show you how to get them. So as you see here, I am dividing all of the major arcanas on the left and the minor arcanas on the right. And so I'm using this system to use the major arcana cards for guidance. All right, and so here we go. Blessings to us, and I call in all of our guides and ancestors of the highest of good, those who are well, healthy, and liberated, to circle around this reading for our 2026 summer solstice. We thank you for your guidance. May we receive guidance that is of our highest of good and for the benefit of all. All right, let's see who is our guide for the solstice. Who wants to come through to be our guide for the solstice? And if you're here, it's because this divine message is for you. Take what you wish and what resonates with you. Tap into your own intuitive energies and leave what does not resonate. You have autonomy and sovereignty over your body and your spirit, and may it be so. There it is. All right. Looks like we have two guides here today. I felt called to pull the two. The first one that I pulled is Lalaki at Babae. And so this is a lover's card. And we also have the Linglingo. Linglingo is the 10th card of the major arcana. It is the Wheel of Fortune in the traditional tarot. Lalaki at Bae is the lover's traditional card. And I think the spirits and the ancestors are really speaking through, letting us know that we must find unity in ourselves once again through the lover's card, Laki at Bae. Maybe there is some emphasis here on relationships. Maybe there is some lessons on what it means to look at how we are approaching life from duality rather than fluidity and multiplicity. I'm also feeling here that there is this sacred balance that's coming into play, needing to come into balance. There's a desire here to be in balance. The shadow side of this is around heartbreak and fear of letting go or having limitation in your relationships. And also to remember around this justice lens of collective liberation, that our liberation within us is also connected to our ancestors, but also the collective. And with the Linglingo here, this is the cosmic womb. The Linglingo is the cosmic womb. Something here about creation, something here about new beginnings, and then even resistance and victimhood. So there's really something happening here around relationships and where maybe some of that trauma is coming up in our lives. But that reminder that liberation work is cyclical and that endings do feed beginnings. So don't be afraid to let go of relationships that are no longer serving you or that feel limiting to your being. And so these are our guides for today, and we're going to inquire more with the Linglingo and Laki at Bae, or the Wheel of Fortune and the Lover's card, to see what more they want to tell us about relationships, creation, love, womb work. I think there's a lot here that's happening, so we'll return to these. I'm just going to place these up here. Thank you, ancestors. And continuing our reading, I'm going to be pulling from the Modern Witch Tarot deck. Okay, so right away, we're losing sleep over these relationships, and we're trying to trust ourselves. There's a hard decision we have to make, and we're really struggling with it. We want to ask the Linglingo, we want to ask Laki at Bae, what else they want us to know. So I'm really feeling strong relationship energy here, making hard decisions, to communicate, to connect, not to hold things inside. What else do you want to say? There we go. Eight of Cups. We are afraid to leave. We are afraid to make this emotional shift. We're afraid of movement, but it's necessary. We need to make moves. And if you're thinking about your relationship and you're thinking, oh, I have to leave, that's not necessarily the case, but maybe there needs to be some space. There needs to be some self-reflection time regarding our heart's desire here. And we have some moon cycles here, so it's telling us time, maybe a month even. Rest. Allow yourself to rest, which we have a message for this at the very end here. Cosmic womb. Laki at Bae. What else would you like us to know? Okay. Yeah, there's a resistance here. Nine of Cups. Something maybe doesn't quite feel fulfilling, even though you have everything, but it's near completion. It's like it's almost there. Should I challenge this relationship when things are going well already? Maybe there's something that's not being satisfied or satiated in the relationship. Again, maybe it needs more time, it needs reflection, maybe it just needs space also. I'm calling for one more card. Oh, looks like there's 3 cards, and looks like we have the 8 of Swords, feeling bound here. That communication piece that is necessary to move forward, knowing that you have the ability to move. You're feeling maybe it's you that's holding yourself back, and that is causing a lot of stress, unnecessary stress here, because you're overthinking things. And how on brand with the Gemini energy of this time, with a Mercury in retrograde approaching. And here we are again. This is like the evolved self. You've left for your travel. It's been a hard travel, but now you can see the horizon. You have an anchor to how you want to choose your next direction, to make a decision regarding what you have reflected on. And the Ace of Cups, new feelings, new beginnings, new energy. This is really going to bring in a fresh perspective. So when it comes to relationship, go within to reflect, to release energy that's not necessary, to give space and time. It's about coming back to yourself. This is about coming back within, and which is why I believe that the cosmic womb is coming through, is to remind us of those cycles of creation and all of the things that we are resisting, or maybe defaults and patterns and habits that are really rooted within us, and maybe things that we're not so proud of, but also considering our child selves, that's not our fault, but we do have responsibility, and we need to take accountability to that, and that we can embrace this sort of ending to feed a new beginning for a bigger collective energetic shift, right? And so caring for yourself and choosing yourself and reflecting on what's best for you sounds like it's really important right now. This is a shift, a new beginning in all of your relations. And I think that that's a good thing. So to complete this reading, I would like to call in a card to support sort of this rest, this need for resting energy, this need to support what we're resisting, right? So that we can anchor into, what's in the horizon, what fresh beginnings and choices we have to make. Okay, I'm going to pull something from the Rest deck by the Nap Ministry, Trisha Hershey. And the message for us is silence is a form of rest. So we talked about communication, but what I think the Diwatas or the major arcana cards are really saying here as our guide, and we see that all of these individuals have their eyes closed. They're doing an inner reflection here. That this communication has to, of course, be done with your relationships. Let them know that you need time and space and why, if you know the whys, but also that this communication actually exists within yourself. A quiet dialogue, if you will. Being silent is one of the infinite ways to rest. Rest is always available to you when you connect with silence as a powerful ritual and disruption of the unsustainable pace of this culture. You can go inward. You can pause. You can rest your eyes. How can you snatch a moment of silence today? And so that completes our reading for today. I hope this was useful for you and that you enjoy that reading. For our solstice of summer 2026, messages from our soul and our ancestors. May you be well. May you receive with care. And thank you for choosing life today.